Alright, well, this is another one of those scenes that did a really good job at portraying the story. Even though technically this guy shouldn't be in here for like another 2 scenes, they did a really good job of bringing him in and making him a part of the witches scene. Like, I know that they forgot to say some lines, maybe the majority of it, but it was still very well put together. So it doesn't follow word for word. I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10 because it forgot a lot more than Mr. Polinsky's did, but it also did some that Mr. Polinsky didn't do. Alright. And how realistic are the characters and props? Well, the props are realistic but have nothing to do in context. No, that's theirs. Alright, how realistic are the props and characters? The props look decent, but I didn't believe I was in the setting they were trying to portray. Also, when the witch went into his body to grab his heart, her hand wasn't bloody at all. And the heart wasn't even beating. I even took the time to Google this. And apparently, your heart doesn't stop beating until 10 minutes after you die. So it still should have been beating. The witches to this, I'd say, didn't look like witches, but since the scene takes place in a hospital and they dress the way... The witches to this, I'd say, didn't look like witches, but since the scene takes place in a hospital and they dress the way... Blah! The witches to this, I'd say, didn't look like witches, but since the scene takes place in a hospital and they dressed that way just to get the heart, it really isn't fair to judge it by this one scene. So, how realistic are the props and costumes and characters, whatever? I'm going to give that a 10 out of 10. No, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 because I didn't believe... So how realistic are the props and characters? I'm going to give that a 9 out of 10. Right here. Right here, Eric. Right here, future Eric. Come on, right here. There you go. And for our last part, how believable was the scene compared to the book? Now, judging by the fact that this takes place... And now on to our last topic, how to believe... And now for our last deciding factor, how believable was the scene compared to the book? This one took a weird but interesting crack at the whole perspective of Macbeth. Instead of it being in medieval times, the setting was more of a World War II, 1940s type setting. And I really like how they still kept the main theme of the play in their now future setting. So I'm going to give that a 10 out of 10. So in the end, we're going to give Rupert Gold a nice 28 out of 30. Right here. Right here. And now we just have Jeffrey Wright. Let's see if he does a better job than these two people. Alright.